Okay, so I'm just going to share an experience that I had yesterday. And had I not been reminded and really thought about the situation, I would have gotten God and I would have opened the door to the enemy. So yesterday I was traveling back home and I was at a car wash, and there's nothing spectacular about that. I usually go to the car wash, nothing, out of the norm about that. But the car wash is on a corner, and the road that I need to take is going opposite. So I usually have to go out of the car wash and then into traffic and then make a U-turn to turn back into the road that I need to travel on. And so instead of going to make a U-turn, I was like, I should just go to the gas station that is in that direction and then just go all the way around and get back to my place. And I was like, no, I'm just gonna go to the gas station that I always go to. I'm just gonna make the U-turn and do what I normally do because the gas station is right there. I don't really feel like going all the way out of my way. So I do that. Get to the gas station, pull up to the pump, nothing, different. But this time I decided to use one of my other cards that I've never used tap at the pump for. So I was like, okay, let me try tap at the pump. So I tap my card, the 4 lights show up, and then it says $50 prepaid. And so I'm just like, dang, they doing a $50 prepaid every time I tap this card? I was like, that's so weird. I've never heard of that, especially with like a credit card, like a debit card. Yeah, I would, it would make more sense to me. But I was just like, okay. But it happened as soon as I tapped it and I saw all the lights. I was like, okay, I'm good to go. Pump my gas. My gas is like $32 and some change. And then when I finished pumping the gas, I'm like trying to get my receipt. And then it says, come inside to the cashier. And I'm just like, this is so strange. I've never had this happen when I used a card. And so I get in the car and I'm like Googling like the bank card that I use, the bank credit card. I'm like, do they do a $50 prepaid? Like, cause I've never used the card before. So I was like, this is so strange. Let me see if this is normal. And so as I'm looking through my phone, the owner of the gas station, it doesn't matter, he comes out and he points at me, and then there's another lady and he's talking to her and they're pointing at me, and I'm just like, what is wrong with y'all? And so I opened my door to see what's going on, and he was like, and they were just having a conversation about what was going on. And then she explains she prepaid $50 of gas, and obviously I used some of her, it was her money that was prepaid on the pump. And so I'm just like, oh, that explains, why I saw the prepaid. I just didn't put 2 and 2 together. I didn't think nothing. I was just really confused. And I didn't think that somebody was inside, prepaying gas at a pump. I just didn't think of that. And so I was like, oh, okay. And so I'm trying to get my daughter out the car, and the man is like yelling, like I stole something, like I drove off with the gas or something. And like hindsight, I'm like, oh yeah, okay, I understand. You think I'm about to steal your gas and you're not about to get your money. But pump your brakes. I'm just getting my child out the car. So I'm like, I'm trying to get my child out the car. You need to calm down. And so I get inside. He's being rude. He's saying you're lucky, and I'm just like, and the lady was like, lucky about what? And I'm just like, okay, yeah. Callie's confused. I'm just like, let me go, because I come here all the time. So like, child, please. And I was offended. I was just like, who do you think you are? And I was just in my head, I'm just like, And so I walk out and I'm like, okay, that all makes sense. And then I get home and I'm just like, I'm never going back to that gas station ever again. That man was so rude. If I do come back, I'm gonna say something to him about, yeah, I'm stealing gas today or something like that. Something petty. And then I was taking a shower and I was just like, so you offended? So you offended. So you just listened to yet another sermon about offense and how that is the doorway to Satan. That is Satan's bait. And here you are being baited to be offended and to open up that door. And I just laughed. I said, wow. I had just listened to Mike Signorelli's sermon, and he was talking about offense. And I was just like, really, Jasmine? Like, you just gonna let that go down like that? You gonna get God? And so I was like, let me just forgive that man. I pray that he gets to know Jesus. I'm glad that I didn't act a whole, I didn't show my behind, which I usually don't. So I just thought it was funny. So I'm like, okay, Lord, you will have to work with me. I forgive him. But I still feel the way that I feel. I'm still annoyed that it happened because I'm just like thinking logically. I'm like, who prepays for gas without their car being in front of the pump? Like, it made zero sense to me. Like, I have never encountered such a stupid situation like that. Like, how you gonna prepay for gas when your car is not at the pump? You're setting yourself up for somebody to just drive on in and like steal your gas. Like, it just made zero sense to me. And then I was just like, this was so, it's just not gonna make sense. It's just funny at this point. Like, it bothered me. Like, who does that? Why? Where's your car? Where's your car? Where is your car? Why are you not at the pump? Like, it's so funny. It's so funny how things happen. Like, I'm not gonna say coincidentally, but like my tap, like as soon as I tapped my card, it said $50 prepaid, unless it was just letting me know that somebody had already prepaid. Maybe it was, but you know, being that it was my first time using tap, it was so smooth. It was like seamless. Like, I tapped, saw the 4 lines. I'm like, okay, I'm good. And then it said $50 prepaid. And then it never would occur to me that somebody was actually inside prepaying for gas. To this day, not to this day, I am still wondering, where's her car? Where is this lady's car? Do y'all prepay at the pump? Was your car not there at the pump that you paying for gas? And the man was so rude. Like, he was so rude. Like, he just was like, sir, what was you gonna do if I drove off with the gas? Like, what were you gonna do? I mean, so rude. And it's like, I go to this gas station all the time. I just don't go inside. And so I really was like, y'all don't deserve my money. Passing judgment. Y'all don't deserve my money. And I was like, I'm not going out of my way I'm not gonna do that because, one, I'm not going out of my way to go to another gas station when that's like the closest gas station to like my home. Like, I go there all the time. And it's just so funny. I think it's funny now. But I wanted to share that. Don't let silly situations open the door to Satan. Because like Mike said, you open the door crack with the bait and Satan like blow it off the hinges. Like, or he'll kick it off the hinges. And I'll say, I like that. But I almost got God. You know, I pray for that establishment. I pray that he changes his attitude. I pray that he finds Jesus. And I pray that that lady learns a lesson, like not to prepay for gas at where your car is not at the pump. And then I will learn a lesson, like anytime you see something weird going on like that, you take your behind inside and you make sure everything is good. Because that thought did cross my mind, like, okay, I should go inside. But instead, I decided to sit in my car and Google something before I could make a decision. So, funny though.